Building on the rapid success of recent years, EaseInvest is set to embark upon the next phase of our growth journey. The evolution of EaseInvest has seen a shift in both vision and mission and has adapted to reflect the emerging expectations as a global leader in finance software. However, as we move forward, it is important to reflect and acknowledge the foundation that enabled our growth and success up to this point. The following presentation seeks to provide a detailed analysis of the opportunities and challenges regarding the management of our growing teams in the context of the proposed office relocations and necessity to adapt our communication methods to our changing corporate structure. This overview will provide sufficient context for the recommendations that will conclude this presentation. To succeed, we need to maximise EaseInvest people management outcomes, whilst mitigating risks that, if left unmanaged, have the potential to undermine the market position we have fought so diligently to achieve. As we seek to expand, there are two key elements which require interrogation to truly understand their implications: virtual teams and our global expansions that will see the establishment of 3 new offices and our footprint grow to 4 countries. At EaseInvest, we have an absolute understanding that teams are the soul of our work. Our geographic diversity will see us work and manage teams in a way that is new to us all, requiring commitment by each of us as leaders to be transformational in our approach. To do this, it will be essential that we set and convey a clear vision, understand the collective interests of individual groups, and set lofty aspirations. Empowerment of our people will aid success. There are challenges with virtual teams, and we should be mindful of the impacts these may have, particularly on our burgeoning centres. Differences in effectiveness, levels of trust, and the difficulty in establishing behavioural norms comparative to our Melbourne office may be evident, and we will need to collectively work to mitigate these. Effective communication across all elements of EaseInvest will be critical to achieving our targeted goals in the coming months and uniting a virtual team separated by geography, culture, and profession. To successfully transition our company, effective communications throughout all levels must be a priority. Failure to do so will not only prevent growth, but could significantly detract from our success to date. Verbal communication, be it oral, written, or electronic, must be consistent, as we understand that variance can result in multiple and subjective interpretations. It must be acknowledged that virtual teams, whilst affording a range of benefits in a global setting, can be restrictive in terms of communication, specifically due to the limiting of non-verbal communication and the inherent disadvantages of this. Whilst all endeavours will be made to communicate consistently and regularly, when relying heavily on virtual communication, non-verbal nuances will simply be missed. Face-to-face interactions provide a rich media for communication and is something not always available in virtual teams, though should be employed with some level of frequency. Our values and strong organisational culture is the foundation on which our success has been built, and we should seek to retain and share this openly and frequently. A strong culture has, as we have seen, the capacity to enhance commitment and regulate behaviour through the reinforcement of expected norms. However, as we look to expand, specifically into India and China, this will be challenged as we welcome a new and diverse workforce to EaseInvest. Employees' national culture will need to be considered and, importantly, understood. We can anticipate subcultures within our new teams. However, where our core assumptions, values, and beliefs are not broadly shared, we expose ourselves to the emergence of countercultures or possible dysfunction, which would significantly impact our ability to achieve our collective goals. Additionally, we must also remain vigilant of our existing teams in much the same way. Having outlined the opportunities and challenges that can be expected in terms of people management as we grow EaseInvest, the following recommendations should be considered for implementation in the coming 18-month period. The importance of transformational leadership for effective virtual teams is paramount. We have a strong and effective leadership at EaseInvest, though given the significance of this to the success of our virtual teams, it is recommended that we explore and engage an industry leader in best practice leadership training to be delivered to all senior and frontline managers. This will ensure alignment of approach and maximise the likelihood for team success. Effective communication will be integral to the success of this venture. There will be a significant amount of information shared amongst teams, which will require a diverse range of media to ensure that this is comprehensively understood and enacted. As face-to-face communication is ultimately the richest and most effective media when communicating on intentions and attitudes, It is recommended that senior management commit to monthly visits to each of the relevant areas initially, drawing upon a range of communication tools to embed our culture and ensure empowerment of our people. Over time, the frequency may be reviewed as teams become established. However, a full-time physical presence will also be important. Geographic locations, and consequently the vast time differences, mean that effective communication across each of our virtual teams will prove challenging. Furthermore, the ethnocentric application of our values across our burgeoning teams, given the vastly different national cultural influences, may also prove problematic. In recognition of this, it is recommended that the board seeks to revisit the proposal to establish departments in both China and India concurrently. Preliminary research suggests that India has the necessary skill set to deliver the expected output from Shanghai, and due to the much higher level of English proficiency, has a greater capacity to achieve cultural synergy. The move to co-locate both departments in Bangalore would significantly reduce the logistical impacts on senior management, as well as the potential development of countercultures or dysfunction amongst multiple national teams that may not align with EaseInvest values. As we work towards an IPO, it is recommended that the board revisit our values, specifically that we work hard and play hard. While this had relevance in a smaller, startup organisation, the difference between global aspirations of EaseInvest and the perception of what this as a stated value represents has the ability to negatively reflect on the company on several fronts. Firstly, this may not be a value shared amongst a global team, leading to dysfunction or to the development of countercultures. Secondly, it may inhibit the attraction of the best people to our company, particularly in regions where this value may not be shared culturally. Finally, we marginalise potential shareholders who may not connect with this company value. These recommendations are tabled to ensure that we maximise the opportunity to grow EaseInvest and achieve our goals. Understandably, some of these may be met with initial resistance. However, focusing on these key areas in the short term will position us as a market leader in the financial software industry and make us attractive for external investment or acquisition. Please discuss, and I look forward to meeting with you soon regarding implementation. Thank you very much.